Aristotle three forms of three parts of public speaking. He said the ethos, the logos. These ones include your diction, the way you make your logical conclusion, or the choice of language you do. That one goes for 15%. So diction is 15%. Also, a very crucial part of your discourse today shall be the content. In as much as we take into consideration all these other areas, what matters most is the ability to convince the judges that you know exactly what you shall be talking here. So the content goes for 20%. Summary and conclusion. Now, in as much as you're going to play a role, you have also to be very convincing, and you have to make your presentation in a very logical and sequential way. And in concluding, it earns you also a very significant amount of marks. And for conclusion and summary, it goes for 10%. Now, performance of the whole play, like I rightly made mention when I started off, I said, this is a whole play debate. We had a paradigm shift, and if that is the case, the whole economy to play if you are if you are opening a position member, or if you're playing that role, you have to adequately do due diligence to the whole. And if that is the case, it will earn you 30% of the marks in entirety, and the total mark shall be 100% as have been determined by the judges. So thank you very much, and we pray all of you with seriousness will make this process come to an end that will actualize the actual aim of this entire session. So we look for
announce the topic once more. Very crucial and very interesting to debate. And the debater will be debating, and of course the judging, they will be judging. And likewise, the audience are here. The resolution announced again. This House believes that the media is more powerful than the government. Interesting. Going through this topic is indeed debatable. I'm just reflecting my mind when Hafiz and Mark won the debate there at the Well of Parliament. It was an exciting one. I believe we have gone through the ballot process. We have summoned our government and the main opposition of this country to discuss on a critical issue that has been affecting this noble country. My chief judge, another judge, others. This has been the call of all, which is this house believes that the media is more powerful than the government. With the honor and power bestowed on me as the Speaker of the House, I call upon the open faction, which is the open government, the Prime Minister, to present us proceedings.
Honorable Speaker, judges, members of this House, I greet you all. My name is Esther Bialufona, the Prime Minister for this House debate. I am here and I strongly support what this House believes, that the media is more powerful than the government. First, I define media. Media are the communication outlets or tools used to score and deliver information or data. Secondly, government. A government is a system or group of people governing an organized community or a state. Now to my point. Media is considered as one of the most powerful tools in providing information to people and society. The media is more powerful than the government because it impacts in our daily lives, and the media also influences our thoughts. The media has this ability to inform, entertain, and influence our daily lives. Media has the power to manipulate and making the viewer believe in the information that they give. And we can relate that to the uses and gratification theory or the cultivation theory. The media is more powerful than the government. The media, all across its forms, impact the behavior of our lives. The media, it investigates, it protects, it serves as a security in our daily lives or our society, to be specific. The media, in providing information, has the powerful ability that helps us to inculcate whatever we want or whatever we do, and it helps us in our decision making, for example, in our elections. The media brings awareness. So, in this awareness that the media creates, it helps us in the decision making. So, this honorable Mr. Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, I hereby rest my case.
So the opening opposition is this. I want to present to you the leader of the opposition to give his submission.
I'm Ibrahim Mawiya, General of the Mass Communication Department, and I am the leader of opposition in today's parliament. Of course, we've heard from our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister. So this motion, should I reiterate? The motion for this House today is this House believes that the media is more powerful than the government. Of course, as an opposition, we actually believe that the media is not more powerful than the government. And we believe otherwise that the government actually is more powerful than the media. First of all, let me just add to some of the definitions actually given by our sister. Of course, we actually define what media is, but contextually, when we say the media, we don't just speak the president of information, we also talk about a group of bodies, organizations that actually pass this information. For example, we say the radio, for example, we say the television, for example, we say the newspaper. So contextually, media is not just about passing information, it also has to do with this whole body that comprises of institutions that pass us information. That's just a clarification. Actually, as an opposition, we believe the government is more powerful than the media. Firstly, let's look at a few of our points before we actually go to the importance. Our constitution states clearly that the government, through its agencies, actually regulates the media. I have a question. The regulator or the regulatee, which one is more powerful? The government actually have the power to control the media, to dictate how the media works, to clarify how the media should go. Basically, if these are the role of the government as against the media, how will we actually be convinced that the media is more powerful than
better information?
You have to wait a bit, please. How will we say that the media is more powerful?
Point of information in Africa.
You have to wait a bit, please. Than the government. Then secondly, I'm just highlighting the point.
Point of information.
Wait a bit, please. Secondly, we also believe the government has the power of the people, and it makes it the most powerful organ that exists. The government is the most powerful that exists.
Points of information.
You have to wait a bit, please, with the student. We actually elect the government, and when we are electing the government, we know the media is part of the masses. The government is elected by the masses, unlike the media. The media is elected by the masses. The government has the power of the government has the power of the people, so it's actually...
Point of clarity, Mr. Speaker. Point of clarity.
You have to wait a bit, please. So if the government actually is elected by the masses, and remember, the masses also includes the media. So how can you say, I'm still on my lesson, I'm still giving time, please. The government controls every part of that activity. Rules and regulations, what they set in parliament, what they do in parliament, actually has to affect everybody in society. The media, the power of the media is just by assumption. It can happen or it cannot happen. When the media actually have campaigns, it is possible that people don't follow the campaign. It is also possible that they can follow the campaign. So we are not certain about the power of the government is actually certain. So basically these are the points. And another thing is we should know is that the media, in fact, when you look at the arms of government, media is part of government. We call them the fourth estate. So how can we say a body that is part of the government is powerful than the government? The media is the fourth estate. So basically we think, because of these points that I will be deliberating on shortly, that the government is more powerful than the media. I want to take your points of view.
You are verifying us to the Constitution. First of all, let me say we are not here for any hypothesis. Defying us to the Constitution without giving us any relevant sector, I think it's a dead coach.
Alright, thank you so much. Influence people, to influence what people think, how they behave, and also that data was the roles and responsibility of the media. I think yes, we know the roles and responsibility.
Point of clarity.
And that is basically, I will take another from you, please. And that basically does not tell us how powerful the media is to the government, because when you talk about inflation, I think the government have more influence on the people than even the media. You know why? Let's say for example in Sierra Leone. Now we have, a lot of media houses. But when it's time for politics, imagine the ideologies we have in Sierra Leone, the ideologies about politics. When the APC say Tulumbo, let's go around now, they don't go there. So basically, I'm just quoting. So basically, I'm actually trying to say here that government and politics actually has more power, more influence than even the media we are talking about. So I don't think that is actually enough point to make that the media influences the government. So let me say first of all, the Independent Media Commission was actually established by an Act of Parliament, and it was in 1996. The 1996 Constitution actually established the Independent Media Commission, and in establishing the Independent Media Commission, it actually gives that commission the power to regulate the media. What happens in the media, how the media goes, what the media does is being regulated by the Independent Media Commission. So how can we tell them that the government that regulates the media is more powerful than the government that regulates its activities? So basically, as an opposition, we believe that's not the point. So ending this debate, we actually, like we said earlier, this house said, according to the government, that they believe that the media is more powerful.
Mr. Speaker,
for all the reasons given,
Honorable Member,
the government is more powerful than the media.
the opposition leader, the government, the Prime Minister, and the heard from the opening opposition, the opposition leader. We are now going to the Deputy Prime Minister to substantiate and give us his own submission.
The media is more powerful than the government. I am Jeremiah Ebla, Deputy Prime Minister. Before I review my points, I'll first of all reiterate what the opposition leader said. He said, media is not only the person of information. Then he made mention of the TV, radio station, and so on. Tell me true. Is the TV, radio station doesn't pass information? It passes information. So to be specific, the media is a form of passing on information. You also said the government is in control of every part of the state. I want to argue you now to say it is not every part of the state that a country is controlling. I don't want to make you sense of one thing, of what happened in the Spanish and the American War of 1898. When the war started in 1898, the government of Spanish doesn't have the mind to integrate or to enter into that policy.
Points of information.
Only, wait for me, Madam Speaker, okay? The government doesn't put any effort towards that, okay? It was only the media that was there to put in a know what was going on during the American and Spanish War in 1828 and 1898. You also said, without the media, allow me to proceed. Maybe when I proceed, I will try to answer, okay? You also said, without the media, the government will take on its policies in ensuring that there is smooth electioneering process. I want to argue you now, because the reason being is that the government, without the media, the government will not take on its regulation in the area of electioneering process. Because the media has to ensure that it educates the people in the area of the electioneering process or voting process. Please wait for me. Maybe I will proceed and answer to your question later, okay? Now my fact of point, I want to take you right to the idea that the media is generally certainly is more powerful than the government. Think about this for a minute. Why does everyone has the perspective they do on any certain politician or political party, whether it be Trump, Obama, the Republican or Democrat? For me, I believe the media does, as they do reach out to a large community. The media can portray an image of one person or group to the public, and then the whole group or nation of people will become known for what those people did. Most common, terrorists and Islam. To explain further, government is part of the structures that enable and create space for public discussion, to unfold for people to meet, discuss, engage freely and openly with others. It also limits it by, please wait for me when I proceed, I will try to answer, okay? It also limits it by defining and regulating legitimate activity and where and how this can take place. For instance, this particular point is trying to tell us that the government can never do any activity without the conscience or unknown to the media.
Point of information, Honorable Minister.
Please, Madam Deputy, wait for me. It enables and shapes the possibility and activity of public discussion. The news media are able to set the terms of political life because the other intermediate institutions, religion, social, political party are all dependent on the media for their success in terms of advertising. The media provide for us information, indeed, as my Prime Minister said, educate us in the area of electioneering process. It creates awareness for us. For instance, whenever job is created or whenever job is opened, is the government there to tell people that there is job? No, only the media that is there to inform us, tell us about certain things going on in the country. So, Mr. You can go on.
Contextually, and I also use the word not just, maybe you don't understand those parts of my proposition.
Yeah, I understand.
Let me just say this. You made a point. You said, the government always use the media when they want to do things. So how does the government use the media when they want to pass on information makes the media important? Or, important or more powerful than the government?
We're really, wait, I'm coming, okay? What I'm trying to say is that whenever a government is trying to do something, it will be known to the media, okay? It's because the media...
How does that make the media powerful than the government?
Fine, that makes it more powerful because the media is there to inform, educate, and entertain the people in the area of those. If Julius Madabio is about to come to Makeni, to whom are you going to hear the information first? You are going to hear it through media.
Point of information.
Yeah.
Julius Madabio did not inform the media he is
Fine, thank you. For you to know for you to know how powerful the media is, whenever Julius Madabio wants to take his or action in going to and fro from any country or institution so far, the media must know about it because he has to inform the media. If the media, because if the media doesn't accept that particular invitation or doesn't accept that particular traffic, the coming of the president or the going of the president will not be known to the public.
So don't you think the debate is getting more hotter? But I want to bring this to you as the Speaker of the House. Please, audience, this is the word of Parliament. At the word of Parliament, we are not expected to clap. Now we are moving to the Deputy Opposition Leader for her to make a point.
Honorable members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am Princess Magdalene Momo, and will be seconding the first opposition team. And today, as the motion in the House reads, this House believes that the media is more powerful than the government. And as an opposition as a deputy opposition, we are firmly against this motion that the media is more powerful than the government. First off, Mr. Speaker, the honorable member that just finished his presentation, his argument, his argument on sound. I am not criticizing, I promise I won't do that. But I think we are misguided. Honestly speaking, I didn't know when the opposition started. This is our point that one, the government regulates media. The media is the fourth estate of the government. And as a government, we are more powerful than the media. We regulate the activities of the media. We say yes or no before the media. We actually control the media to how we want it. And how the quotation goes, just because something is a lie, or just because something is a lie doesn't mean that it is not deceptive. A liar knows that he or she...
Deputy Minister, please, I've stopped your time.
More deceptive, or he who speaks a portion of truth in order to deceive is a craft of destruction. You came here, you are misinforming the general public. How can you say that the media is more powerful than the government without any relevant facts? In fact, I did not...
Point of information.
Not accepted, Mr. Minister. Secondly, the opposition leader made mention that the government has the power of the people than the media. As the definition of government means, government of the people, for the people, and by the people. The people listen to the government than the media.
Point of information.
Yes, sir. Yes.
How will you contest? Because for any inch of the activities that the government should have taken has to consult and unanimously work with the media. Without the media, there is no victory for the government.
We can work without you.
But
We can use you, but we are more powerful than you because we are the government.
that the government can use the media as an agenda setting tool.
And our third point was that the government controls and serves a larger community than the media. Imagine, the government is in charge of the whole nation. We are in charge of the nation. You are just a small entity. And the
Point of information.
Mr. Minister, not accepted. Mr. Speaker, I would like to report what the Prime Minister said in our speech. You said that the government manipulates. Tell me to honorable members and people in this house, what is the meaning of manipulate? When you manipulate, you deceive. That means the media is deceiving the general public.
Madam
If you
Speaker,
are
point of
manipulating,
clarity.
you are deceiving. Manipulate, it is negative.
Point of clarity, please, Madam Speaker.
Yes, honorable minister.
Okay, if you are talking about being this man, let me say the government itself is an entity that is trying to hypnotize, favorize, and also bring things that are very curious in society. And not with that, let me tell you something, just wait a second, give me time, please, give me time. Just give me time, please. Give me time, please. Just give me time, please. Let me give you one.
Investigates and the media protects. It is the responsibility of the government to protect the people, and it is also the responsibility regulates the media. So how then do you protect the people? How then do you investigate issues without the government making it known to you?
Point of clarity provides helps in the security aspect, and that is when there's an outbreak of terrorism.
Inform the people. If
And
you do
we are the intermediary. We serve as intermediary. So if there's no media, then the message that you, the government, want to understand, I think that would
then you serve as an intermediary, you are clearly clear your point, you serve as an intermediary. That means you are not powerful than us, we are more powerful than you. Mr. Speaker, what is your members of parliament not accepted? Mr. Speaker, what are the members of parliament? Before I leave this podium, I would like to just give a summary of what the opposition leader and I are here to deliberate on. Firstly, we mentioned that the government regulates the media. And secondly, the government has the power of the people than the media. And then finally, the government controls and serves a larger community than the media. With all of these points and all of these facts, I am comfortable that we have been able to convince you and not confuse you that yes, the government is more powerful than the media. And let's like this.
Indeed, this house is filled with honorables. Others, my noble, astute, and pragmatic Chief Judge, alongside with the judge, that are very well unbiased, trustworthy, and can boast of integrity check. I want to submit to you the opening fraction has come to an end. We are now moving to the closing fraction. In that light, Mr. Chief Judge and the judge, others, permit me to present to you the member of government to submit and substantiate their stance as government.
Okay. He, whosoever lives without the media, is blind. Isn't it? He who is not connected to the media is dumbfounded. Okay, it is with this wise word I start my debate. As the closing, let me say as the opponent government, I am strongly reaffirming towards my deputy Prime Minister, my Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister said. But with that said, I would like to first of all introduce myself. Well, I am Karim Samora with a pen name Solicitor K, but I'm well known in my constituency as Voice of the Voiceless. Not with that, I'm here to represent constituency year 1, but as created as constituency mass communication. Okay, as rightly said by Madam Minister here, it was very successful, despite the shift, and it was very correct, that the media impacts our life, our thoughts. Like she said, due to the use of the agenda setting theory, wherein the media tell us what to think about. That is very vivid that when media present that, it gives its audiences what to think and how to choose their leader. And not only that, my Deputy Prime Minister here enlightened about the positive impact of the media.
Honorable Member, point of information.
Thank you. And he said the media contributes towards civic education, which is very relevant. During the election, we see that it's because of the media we are seeing people being indoctrinated how to vote. If it were not for the media, how we should vote? How? It's because of the media, isn't it? Thank you. Not with that, I would like to start with my own argument. First of all, I would like to say the media intensify intensify media expression. How? Well, it is because of the media in 1968, during the era of Shekapin's TV. It is because of the media that we know that Sheka's TV was very, very corrupt. That is to say, during that era, the media exposed what he said. That is to say, he propounded the theory. Mr. Speaker, thank you. And not without Mr. Speaker. If you are not for the media, you shouldn't have done that. But because of the media, we are exposed to that. And secondly, Mr. Speaker, the second point here, the bulletin, is the independence of the media. Let me tell you, let me shock you and shock the audience of this country. Let me shock you, let me shock the audience of this country, citizens of this country. The media, according to section 11 of the Constitution, is very independent. Let me say, the media is supreme. It's on its own. So that's for sure.
Points of
And again, Mr. Speaker, that's some of the points. I believe the media is more.
Points of information.
That's to say, the media is of relevance as compared to the.
Point of information.
As compared. Okay, let me question.
Are you the opening government or the closing government?
Well, you are not here to show me my.
Mr. Speaker,
you are not here to show me my. Okay, Mr. Speaker. In a nutshell, one main important point which I strongly believe will stand in my stand. For the first one is.
Points of information, please.
The first one is intensified of media exposure, which I explained vividly here.
Points of information.
And secondly was the independence of the media, which I consider to be of relevance. That is to say, the media is independent, while the government, let me say, instead of promoting culture and promoting unity for once to be unanimous, they are promoting nepotism, favoritism, tribalism, and which is very hilarious in our society, which is causing some disastrous things, and it is very detrimental in our society. Not with that, Mr. Speaker, I rest my case here.
Member of government. Once more, the audience. The debate is the British parliamentary debate format. This debate is facilitated through English language and not English language competition. Let me reiterate. In as much as the debate is done in English language, doesn't mean or qualifies it to be an English language competition. Next is the closing opposition member to either refute, rebut, or give a point. With this light, I want to call on the closing member of the opposition side.
Honorable members, may I take this golden opportunity and say a pleasant good evening to you all. Victoria Kamara, opposition member. Now, according to my opposition leader, he said that the media do not only give information, but it also regulates he said that the media is responsible the government is responsible to regulate the day-to-day affairs of the state, which means the media can never be and will never be more powerful than the government. My deputy opposition leader also said the government is responsible to protect the lives and property of the country. I mean, if the government can protect all of you, can half of you protect the state? No. The government is always responsible to protect the state. Also, Madam Prime Minister, you said that. I mean, if great things are expected of the media and they are disappointed, then they are not working with integrity, but rather they are trampling their credibility. That is, if the media do not work to the expectations of the people and only manipulate and make the people believe what is not right, then they are not and will never work with integrity. And to the Deputy Prime Minister, he said the government cannot do any activity without the media. But let me tell you this, how can the government be answerable to the media, but the media is or rather answerable to the government? Therefore, a whole can always be superior to that of a part. In continuity, now I come to my point. The media is more powerful than the government, as the media is answerable to the Minister of Information, and the Minister regulates, moderates the activities of the media, especially when it comes to content production and broadcast movements. With that regard, the media won't survive without the government. For example, the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, who regulates their body, who elects their editor. It is the government, which means the media is always answerable to the government, and that makes the government more powerful than the media.
Where's the information?
The government steer the activities and crumple the activities of the government. They steer the activities and crumple the activities of the media. Therefore, there is no way the media can be more powerful.
Point of information.
I'm coming to you, sir. And secondly, the government has the responsibility to close a particular media house to do defamation through the 1965 Public Order Act. For instance, there was a case in which one of the journalists was kidnapped at one time because he said something bad to the government, which means the government can take control of the media at any time and at any place. Therefore, the government is more powerful to that of the media. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the closing side. At this point of time, I want to seize this opportunity in acknowledging the presence of the first gentleman on campus. Talking about students level. It's not as a person, but not a pragmatic, passe, but a resolute president. A president worth emulating, and a president for the students. He is known as a person, but His Excellency Ibrahim Kumkada Bangua, Your Honor, welcome.
Passive and obedient to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but to allow very lively debate within that spectrum, even encourage the more critical and dissident views. With that I say, Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, members of diplomatic corps, fellow countrymen, I bring you greetings from the Maker. I am Honorable Magai John Sebekonte. I stand here with an unshakable mind as the closing government to give a fallacy of the opposition. Fallacy in the sense is the bad, to summarize what the opposition government and to summarize what the open government has said. In that regard, it beats my imagination. Having religiously listened to my opposition leader. Interestingly, he said the opposition is more powerful. That is to say, the government is more powerful than the media, which I want to dance not to dictate, but to tell you that the media is more powerful than the government. In lieu of that, I am clearly disappointed having had deputy opposition leader. In fact, she never impressed me. She was more like giving an addendum to the government, for which I'm very much proud of that. Now to hit the nail on the head. Our Constitution, Section 11 of the 1991 Constitution of our country, says the press, radio, and television and other agencies of the mass media shall at all times be free to uphold the fundamental objectives contained in the Constitution and highlight the free responsibility of the government to the people. That is to say, the government is accountable to the media, and that tells you how significant and that tells you how powerful the media is.
Points of information.
Reserve your opinion on my legs. I want to tell you vehemently that the media is intensified. It's intensified media exposure. There was a time in the world, specifically in the United States of America, where they had wanted to legalize abortion. The government had wanted to legalize abortion, but because of the brevity, because the media is so powerful enough, the media stand tall to dance not to the dictate. The media denies that, and the media says abortion should not be legalized in the world.
Points of information.
And that has hold firm. That tells you the media is powerful.
Points of information.
There was a time the government are running behind the media. If you are talking about government, for them to be popular, you consider the government, the press as a high personality. You reserve your opinion, and on my legs. The government tirelessly, helter-skelter, ran behind the media in order to gain popularity. Now, let me just make it very clear. Honorable members, you are an example, you are an epitome. Since they voted you in power, you never go to your people. Have you? Never. But the media is always to the people. That tells you the media is a powerful weapon. On our way coming to this August occasion, I saw an old woman listening to radio. Whatever good the government presents, or whatever good the government it is, without the media, the government, we cannot see the government.
Point of information, honorable member.
Speak up, speak up.
Does this provide the necessities of the people like the government?
Definitely. The election, let me just take you back, because probably it will be ambiguous. Let me just take you back. The time of election, the press, the media, called the attention of the government for them to be accountable to the people in the form of manifesto. So that tells you, if the press do not give you any chance, you not expose, you not express your feelings to the general populace. Are you with me?
Points of information.
You haven't answered.
Points of information.
Okay. I want to say the press is very important to the extent that the press gives whatever he chooses. That is, using some gratification theory, as well said by my learned colleague. And I think the media is brave enough. And I think the media presents ideas. Again, my colleague in the same side spoke about civic education, which is very true. You will affirm to the fact that the media has become totally mediatized. The world today has totally mediatized. Inverted comma. Mediatized in the sense, a high number of the populace or the population are living with the media. And if you're not living with the media, sorry for God's sake, you are in the dark world. And that is what I want to tell you. The media is very powerful. And the media is powerful than the media is powerful than the government, because there is a theory, of course, which was backed on the media theories. We have the hypodermic or needle bullet theory. And that theory, whatever the media presents to the public, is final. And it's obvious that today I'm hearing here and there, having looks, even the younger child, they are saying the ground guy. The ground guy, it is an adage from the media. That is to say, whatever comes from the media is viral. You might be shocked if I tell you that the media is more powerful than the government. Because the media, like you rightly said, government of the people, by the people of the people. You are not to defend democracy.
Yes, sir. Honorable, your time is up.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Speaker, judges, honorable members, I'm Jibril Awami, Professor Sokuda. Let me perfect the definition of media. Media is a combination of different medium. We have the print media, we have the electronic media. Newspaper, journals, book, print. Radio, television, electronic. This will make sense better. For example, newspaper, radio are part of the, for example, television and radio, electronic media. Newspaper, journal, print media. To go further with this, I'm like to support what the previous speakers have said. According to what exactly my other member spoke about, he said there is no way the media can be more powerful than the government. Here are my points, but to support him in this. For example, the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, SLBC, has directors and governors. The ministry or the Minister of Information steer up the activity of the SLBC. Way back in 2019, I hope you will recall, there is an issue of violence and all that. I just started. There are issues of violence. Now let me clarify this. SLBC cut up the news, they are about to broadcast it. And then tentatively, the minister put up and hold on that particular story. And until now, the story has never been broadcasted. That is telling you the government can steer up the activities of the particular media house. Let me take you international. For the BBC. The BBC gets a special funding from the British government. That is telling you, for them to operate their affairs, the government of the British should support them.
Thanks for information, honorable member.
Go ahead.
The Ministry of Information withheld or censored a news that have not gone viral. You are trying to tell the house, you want to deceive the house.
Well, let me tell you what to do. They appoint directors. Directors are answerable to Minister of Information. The Minister of Information censors the content that is coming from those broadcasting houses.
Don't you think we have to press?
What I'm trying to tell you is, I'm talking about censorship.
Don't you think we have freedom of expression?
Perhaps I'll come back to it later. My audience, honorable members, Mr. Speaker, the judges, I'm able to stand firm to tell this house that in no way a particular media house can be more powerful than the government. I'm not going to give another instance. The Radio Maria Sierra Leone is a missionary society. Mr. M. Django is the manager. You've never heard the Radio Maria radio station said something negative about the Catholic mission because they receive their funding. That is telling you you can never bite the mouth that feeds you. Otherwise,
Point of information.
Having a debate like this is like you saying the inverted pyramid is powerful than the existentiality of SRC discourse. Thank you. I want to wholeheartedly thank the organizers of this program. This is a warming up session, and this has been the first ever to be conducted at the University of Makini. That is a department having a pre-debate, pre-preparation for the actual competition on the 25th of January. And it is a laudable venture and a laudable position for the Department of Mass Comm to prepare themselves and then present debaters that will not only debate but win the competition at the end of the day. It is good. It is good. However, the SRC shall be staging various activities on the 24th, the 25th, and subsequent dates. On the 24th, we shall be having the first ever University of Makini Africana Week. So come and relate with us and be part of that celebration. It's going to be a unique celebration where we celebrate our unique cultural heritage at the canteen. And on the 25th, 9 o'clock, we shall be having a public lecture on emerging diseases. Come and enrich your knowledge outside the framework of your domain. And on the very 25th, we shall be having the ultimate interdepartmental debate. Please be part of it and throw your necessary support to your department. Because your department can only make you proud when they have the ultimate support from their colleagues. It is not an easy task for students to represent their department in a podium like this. It is challenging. That can only yield a positive dividend or a fruitful outcome when they have the required support. So come on that day and support your brothers and sisters whilst they exhibit their inherent God-given talent. Public speaking, as the speaker rightly said, is not only predicated on the aspect of grammar, it is also predicated on the aspect of your composure and self-confidence, how you can win the audience. Grammar is just an aside, but you being a confident speaker, you will lie confidently and the audience will just nod their head. You just need to be confident and present your issues. But however, if you lie and the opposition got that as an opportunity without you being in a position to defend yourself, that is a minus. So when you lie consciously, don't lie subconsciously, because there is every probability for the opposition to pick up, or for the government to pick up that particular statement and then report your statistics or analysis in short regard. But however, this time around, we will provide internet facility for the judges, so that you not only mislead the audience or mislead the judges, you need to give us accurate presentation of facts and statistical analysis, so that when we go home, we'll go home well informed as to the topic being deliberated upon. So with this, I want to thank the Mass Communication Department for making a difference, and I also encourage other departments to replicate these positive strides of mass communication, because you need to prepare their minds and then select the best out of the rest so that they can represent the image of your department. So I thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. I pray that Mass Comm and all other departments will resonate to the top. You are not only representing your department, but there will come a time, if you emerge as the winner, you will represent the university, and subsequently you will represent your country. So put on your best performance and you will see what this SRC administration will expose you to. So I thank you once again for giving me this opportunity. May God bless you all.
Honorable members from the government side, honorable members from the opposition side, members of the House, judges, I greet you all in the name of God. I am Thomas Sherif, Honorable Member Thomas Sherif from Constituency Mass Communication, Year 2. And I'm here today as a member of the opposition. And Mr. Speaker, own media company. First of all, I may want to make a little and then on to the word politician. And a politician is a citizen of any nation, and he or she partakes in the political view and direction of the nation where he or she is. And the media, the term media covers all the means of communication which have functions such as informing, raising awareness, education, socialization, entertainment, and agenda setting, including all kinds of written and visual images.
Point of information.
And, Mr. Speaker, the member of government from the government side has just misconstrued this house.
Honorable Member, point of information.
With her point. She made mention of credibility. And what I want her to know is, in a political nation, each and every citizen is a politician.
Point of clarity.
I'm coming, please.
Point of clarity.
She was just talking about the effects of the politicians, without mentioning the great impact too. And then, Mr. Speaker, I'm coming, please. And reason why politicians will own media companies. One, national development.
Point of information.
Politicians are part of the development sectors in the country. And with that, they can create the government and then the media. Also,
point of information.
Politicians have right to ownership as a citizen of every country.
Point of clarity.
Being a citizen of a country,
Point of clarity.
you have right to own the country. Politicians also can help the media house in repealing the media laws. And also, for instance, the government of CNN is presently owning a media house, which is the SLDC. The SLDC is a governmental institution, and the government are responsible for the day and out of SLDC.
Point of clarity. Okay, you already said that everybody
knows that the politician
write negative and positive things about him. That's what you are saying here. You are saying they are only going to write positive things about him.
That's why I clearly stated before that if a politician is allowed to own a media company.
Owning a media outlet does not mean you don't have board of directors. Owning a media outlet does not mean you're a journalist. It means you are the financial guarantor of that media outlet.
But the do's and the don'ts of the public will not be
You
ensured.
are not a journalist, you are the owner.
Opposition leader.
So before ever I end my case, I want to tell you that and strongly believe that elected politicians should not be allowed to own media companies. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, judges, honorable members, for your perfect attention.
Well, I can see the government side here saying some things in which you think I'll come here and applaud you guys. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to be the Peter of your company, but instead the Judas of your company. As it was right said by the opposition leader that the 1991 Constitution states that each and every one of us citizens, have the right to own a business. The media, we all know, comprises of board of directors. And you being a politician and again owning a media house doesn't mean that you are the journalist or you are steering the boats of operation of that media house. I can see the government side, you're still having that olden days concept about politicians. And because of this, I put it to you that government leader, that you are blocking change by giving no right to elected politicians to own a media house. Well, my purpose here is just to summarize the sayings of my team. Well, the purpose of the media, as it was postulated by the opposition leader, the purpose of the media is to give information about current news, fashion, entertainment, and the like. And again, we further on state that why is it wrong for politicians to own a media company? Why is it wrong? If these politicians who are earning huge amounts of money are planning to invent new changes by making a media house which we all know will lead to development, then why do you think it's wrong for this elected politician to make this or to own a media house?
Point of clarity, honorable member.
My team starts by defining Peter and Shutters media is defined as the main ways of which large numbers of people, information, entertainment, fashion, and so on are passed on to a very large number of people. Owning a media house does not mean that you are owning the affairs or operation of the media.
Point of clarity, honorable member.
The media house, we all know, we greet staff, and these staffs are there to run or are there to man the operations of the media house, not the CEO or not the elected politicians who own the media house. And also, we all know that the media house recruited staff, and these staff are bound to expect the code of conduct of the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists large and the IMC as a whole.
Point of information, honorable member. Point of information, honorable member.
In summary,
point of clarity, honorable member.
In conclusion, I would like to say to this house, as I fearlessly stand before you and summarize all what my team have said, I know I have correctly convinced and not to confuse, not to confuse you, to believe me that elected politicians have right to own media house in order for us to expect new changes that will lead to developmental growth in our country. I thank you all, and I go by the name Bachendo.
I want to kindly ask the judge or one of the judges to bring out comments, analysis, or if the grades are ready, we have them to be pronounced. Remember, the very first team from the opposition side emerged as victors from the first session. The Maria Jallo and Princess, and also from the side of the closing opposition, Professor Sokodai and also that of Victoria. And the two sides, they have already come back for them to see how best they can battle, and we have just seen the proceedings. The judges are set.
Thank you very much, Speaker of the House. Good evening once again. The debaters have debated well. We are amazed at the kind of arguments raised by each of the debaters. Just in 15 minutes, debaters were able to bring out salient points satisfying the judges. However, there is no good side without some bad sides. I will not give individual comments, but I will just make general comments to every other debater. As you prepare for the finals, if it happens that your team qualifies, make sure you take certain things into consideration. One of which is the role you play as a debater. Now, it is easy to play the role as opposition leader, prime minister. But what we found very difficult as judges to look at was individuals who were playing the role as whip. Now, your role as a whip is to make a summary of every single point raised by your side of the argument. Now, if you are from the opposition side, you have to take into consideration the opening opposition argument onto the member of opposition's argument. Because the essence of you doing that is to also reiterate to the judges that your argument is better than the other side of the house. Now, the only person who tried a bit to understand the role was Jeremiah. He tried a bit. He understood what he was to do. When you are making summary, also take note that you also have to look out for clash points to make your argument superb. Imagine the government side was putting premium on it will make people not report things that happen in the society. You as the opposition, create a point that will kill that argument. If you only raise that point and fails to hit on it, the judges will put nothing as a score for you. Many debaters from this particular round raised several points they saw from other debaters, but were unable to bring out facts and statistics to support their own points, actually killing the argument of the other. The other thing you have to note also as a debater, now for this kind of debate, we entertain points of information. As a debater, you need to know how to handle your points of information. You can take 1, 2, then you proceed. Now, if somebody continually keeps raising point of information, it actually disturbs you. It will be better for you as a debater to take one and continue with your argument. You can make it clear that I am no longer taking points of information. The speaker can note that. Then also, if you as a debater fail to take point of information during your 7 minutes of speaking time, you leave the judges to decide what did this person really say. Somebody was asking for clarification, and this person did not in any way take to actually make the judges know what he or she was saying. So the judges sit on the table with zero in their mind. We listen clearly to every single argument you raise. Now, Paul could be a lecturer in the mass communications department, but when he sits as a judge, he listens to your argument independently. Even if he criticizes later what you say here, he will not grade you based on the criticism he makes. He will grade you based on what you have raised and what nobody from the other side could actually bring out to our notice as judges. So note all of those specific things. For composure, I love every other debater. Then make sure tomorrow, whilst coming for the finals, let it be more than what we saw today. Thank you very much.
An individual does not show how grateful you are, but appreciating what the person has done shows the gratefulness and how you appreciate what the person has done to you. In that regard, I want to start by giving you this short information before thanking you people. Tomorrow we're going to be here for the same purpose. You all know the purpose to continue with the debate. At 4, you need to be here before 4 because we're going to start in time tomorrow, especially the debaters. So from there, I want to thank the unbiased judges who are here with us. They took their time to listen to all the debaters and they've done a great work for us here this evening. And to the Honorable Speaker, oh my God, but the Speaker is not having security personnel. I don't know why. Before leaving this place, I want to ask you that question personally. I want to thank you and to all our wonderful debaters. Oh, you've done a great job. So take your time. Let me say you apply. You use all the efforts and you are here. It is a great job. I want to thank all of you and to our wonderful communicators. You've done a great job. We appreciate what you've done and we want to see you here tomorrow for the same purpose. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thanks to the cameraman here and to the other camera woman over there. I want to lastly thank myself because for coming here also I have done a great job. Is that also?
Thank you. Speaker of Parliament, I want to applaud you. You've done very well. The moderator of this all-important debate, I think, is an interesting one. This is not my first time of being a judge for such academic exercise. I know sometimes it's difficult for students to come up, to express themselves, and to see how best their colleagues will appreciate them. For me, I'm impressed. Honestly, I'm impressed. When INIMAC started as Fatima Institute in 2005, I was part of the foundation students. Yesterday, I was talking with a few students at the canteen. They never knew I'm a product of INIMAC. They thought I'm coming from elsewhere. And I told them that I'm impressed. It has never been like this. Our time was a different one. We never had this kind of opportunity to express ourselves. Our motive, our focus was to read our books, sit to our exams and pass. But for you, ladies and gentlemen, you have the opportunity to stand here and to talk, to express yourself. For me, the maths are important, but they are not that much important than the exercise. These are the academic exercise. It's not do or die game. Our motive here is to how we can select people that will represent us. That is the motive here. This is a family business. We will not expect everybody to represent the mass communication department, but we will choose people that will represent us to the fullest. And I believe the judges here, they are independent. I believe in their credibility, and I believe in their independence. So I want to thank all the participants, or the debaters. I want to thank the organizers. I never knew I was going to be selected to be one of the judges. You know, I was shocked when I received a text message from Daniel. In fact, for me, I don't know Daniel individually as a student. I just know him passively. He has never been a friend of mine, but they are marking him whenever he's up here to present issues. I attended the dinner program organized by the Mass Communication for the very first time. So I saw him and I admired him. To organize such an academic exercise is something very, very good. Thank you very much, my brother. It needs your support, and I want to see many of these exercises. Being a part-time lecturer of the mass communication department, I always tell my students that teamwork is the best. We are all winners. Nobody is a loser. If you work as a team, you win. I'm impressed with the lady next to me. I don't have any regrets to commend you ladies. You've proven yourself well, and I want you to maintain. You know, when I was giving my math, I
told my colleague that I'm impressed. Before this time, it's very difficult to see me up here to talk. And your exposition is excellent. Kudos to you, keep it up.
Thank you.
To join hands together with colleagues, judges, to commend the entire process. It was such an amazing one. Even myself, I've learned something very new today, and I'm pretty sure that those of you that did not take part, by the next edition, you will be interested in taking part. Before I announce the results, I want to commend you gentlemen for taking this opportunity to be a part of this session. It's quite amazing seeing the secondary school students becoming interested in such a session. You're welcome, brother. Hope to see you tomorrow. Okay, now we're going to the judgment proper. Before I make the judgment, just 1 minute to make my comment. I normally or usually tell people that media ownership determines the editorial policy, and the editorial policy determines the editorial content. For instance, Radio Maria is owned by the Catholic Diocese. Because of its ownership, you will never hear Radio Maria promote contraceptives. That is their editorial policy. It's being influenced by the doctrine. And now what is the editorial content? The editorial content is what goes out. And because of the editorial policy, you will never hear such a message. Also, it is possible that because of its ownership, it might affect what the media does. However, I am of the view that because we have the regulating body in Sierra Leone, the ownership should not be taken into consideration. Hence, it puts its standards. One of the core values of establishing the media in Sierra Leone, according to Part 1 or Section 1 of the IMC Code of Conduct, it does state that the media needs to promote democratization. It needs to disassociate itself from any political alignment. If it does, then it will institute a commission, and if it is found wanting, then its ownership or its license will be terminated. So I am of that view. But in order to ensure objectivity in the media, the ownership should disassociate itself from the running of the media, because I am of the view that the person who pays the piper dictates the tune. Thank you very much. So now to the judgment proper. The opening government. Like Afiz Ghali made mention, 3 of us collated these grades together. Okay? So, one of us said 65 plus 77 plus 77 equal to 73%. Opening government, 73%. Opening opposition, 76 plus 65 plus 63, making a sum total of 68%. 68% opening opposition. Closing government. One of us said 86 plus 78 plus 84 equal to 83%. Closing opposition. 55 plus 55 plus 74 equal to 61.3. So, it implies for this round, the opening government comes second, and the closing government takes the first position with 83%. So 2 of these houses have qualified for the finals tomorrow. We would want to make something very unique. I sought the consent of fellow judges to make a comparative analysis of all the results. It is obvious that the best house in today's occasion. Before I announce the best house, at times if you lose one, don't give up. It might be an opportunity for you to come up. This house initially lost. And now, holistically, it is being rated as the best house for this session. And that is for the closing government. Two of them. So two of them emerged as orators of today's session. We hope to see a very unique session tomorrow. Lastly, the houses that have qualified include the following. Already two have qualified, opening one of you, and the closing opposition. And these other two houses that have qualified. So we look forward to having a very unique session tomorrow. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Thank you very much.